My name is Brennen Leigh, and from Nashville. I'm going to start with a song about my dad. I wrote this one from my dad's perspective to the best of my ability. A lot of my songs are about the part of America where I grew up, which is called North Dakota. And even lots of Americans have not heard of North Dakota. But it's God's country, and it's exotic. I've now realized after living away from it for many years. And when my dad was 8 years old, his dad let him drive the family's John Deere H model tractor all by himself for the first time. And I love this story so much that I just took my dad's words and I made them rhyme. So it's called the John Deere Age. I close my eyes in a wide blue sky spreading out before me, and I'm hearing that old engine crank again in all its glory. It's a faded memory that I go back to now and then. I give my right arm to be on that farm with the John Deere H again. The John Deere H was a row crop tractor, ours was a 43. And I was still too young to drive, but I knew she was made for me. It'd be like heaven to start her up until that stubborn ground. But I'd climb up on the metal seat and make up my own tractor sounds like this. The H was made in a factory down in Waterloo, but my dad got her secondhand from some folks that we knew. She wasn't sleek and she wasn't fast, took a while to get her going, but she beat a horse in a handheld plow for cutting hay in the whole wind. And then to my surprise, he said one night, boy, it's time you got to learn. And he showed me how to check the spark and set that flywheel turning. I was only 8 years old, I had to stand to reach the pedals, but I was so proud you'd have thought that I just won some kind of medal. In the spring she pulled a corn planter in the newly thawed out ground, and at harvest time she helped make hay before the fields turned brown. She cut alfalfa with a sickle mower and the sweet smell filled the sky, and in dreams at night would still be working with the John Deere H and I. Well, that old machine was a farm kid's dream, not like her before or after, but we let her go in hopes of knowing so-called greener pastures. Though I've been around the world, my life's the envy of most men. I give my right hand for that piece of land in the John Deere H again. I give my right arm to be on that farm with the John Deere H again. Thank you so much. Well, like I said, I moved away and I've been gone for a while. I lived in the South. I know it's hard to place my accent because it's several of them crammed into a little can. But I moved away and I realized that it was exotic to be from where I was from. And actually, you may not know this, but it's exotic to be where you're from too. You just don't know it if you haven't left, you know. Which I think you might have, but anyway, I got homesick and I wrote an entire album about the Great Plains. If you watch the movie Dances with Wolves, you can kind of that's what it used to look like where I'm from. It's just like a beautiful rolling prairie. Anyway, it's also the largest Scandinavian American enclave in the United States. So almost everyone looks like me, or used to. They're sort of blonde Amazons. And I thought that was really boring, but as I got older and the older generation started to leave us, I realized they were taking some of the best things with them. And so this is a song about that. It's called The Prairie Funeral. It was a funeral on the prairie, all his children gathered round, and put him in a horse-drawn wagon and drove him into town. In the dark of February, snow covered up the ground. In a pioneer church made out of song, we sang, "A mighty fortress is our God." He was born in 1898 when the plains burned red and green. To God-fearing pilgrim parents, the 12th kid of 13, they broke up that ground yard by yard with a mule and an oxen team. Now we're burying him out on the lone prairie where the coyotes howl and the wind blows free. Well, back at the house we pushed that big oak table against the wall, built a fire in the cast iron cook stove, made room for one and all. The children and grandchildren piled our snow boots in the hall. The women worked like an oiled machine, the coffee boiled and the kettle screamed. And then the old folks took to telling tales of back when they were young. And it weren't too long before that four-string banjo began to strum. Mom played the fiddle and my Uncle Lars played his accordion. The farmers cried in their flannel sleeves when we sang that song from the old country. Well, that was long ago, and as the years go by, I still forget he's gone. But I look out on the open plains and I know his soul lives on. He's the red sky mirrored on the lake, he's the first cold light of dawn. He's a coyote's wail, he's a winter storm, he's the August wind blowing through the corn. Thanks very much. Well, I'm very disoriented right now. I flew in this morning. I was supposed to fly in from Florida. I was on the Delbert McClinton cruise with Asleep at the Wheel. It was really fun. I was supposed to fly from Florida, but something happened and I ended up going to Nashville, and now I'm here. I have all the wrong clothes with me. But I'm protected from sun damage, so I brought sunscreen. Anyway, I love Asleep at the Wheel. They're my favorite band. And last year, I got to record an album of my songs with them, backing me up, and Ray Benson producing the record. So here's one that I wrote with Paul Kramer. And if you're a fan of Western swing, you might have heard of Tommy Duncan. He's one of the singers for Bob Wills and his Texas Playboys, one of my favorite singers. And my co-writer Paul and I, we were imagining Tommy Duncan's voice to be a sort of a culinary thing. Like, it's delectable. It's almost inappropriate. So I said, Paul, it's like drinking a milkshake, you know what I mean? He said, well, it's like a spiked milkshake, though. So this song is called If Tommy Duncan's Voice Was Booze. Once I had a rowdy streak, wilder than a Texas gale, throwing them provide with us a rhubarb pie with berries and cream. Wouldn't that be a dream that I could lay right down and die? And if I had a time machine, I'd set it to 39. And if Tommy Duncan's voice was booze, I'd stay drunk all the time, all the time, all the time. And if Tommy Duncan's voice was booze, I'd stay drunk all the time. You're just lovely. I'll do a few more of those tunes off the swing record. The swing record is called Obsessed with the West. And I wrote this with Katie Shore, who fiddled for... Yeah, that's exactly the kind of reaction she deserves, because she's wonderful. She fiddled with the wheel, asleep at the wheel, for 8 years, and still does now and then. But I got her to write this with me and sing a duet on the record with me. And it's a little song about ghosting. You know, when you leave the party without saying goodbye in a relationship. It's a very mean thing to do to somebody. And if you're going to do it, you know, the best way to do it is actually to become an actual ghost. So this one's called Tell 'Em I'm Dead. If you think I'm not myself, you'd be right. I just wanna be alone tonight. I've seen this heartbreak coming for a while, and I've got no desire to reconcile. I'd rather just sit down and drown out these memories in my head. And if he comes around, tell him I'm dead. Well, if you think you found your Mr. Right, you're wrong. He'll love you fast and hot, but not for long. For a while I held on to him tight, but if your eyes on him, I won't put up a fight. I'd rather cuddle with a cactus all curled up in my bed. And if he comes around, tell him I'm dead. If you like to take in drifters off the street, I know one you've really got to meet. And if a good lost cause is something that you like, I know one exactly your type. But I'd rather find a mound of fire ants and stay a while instead. And if he comes around, tell him I'm dead. I'd rather live alone in misery, existential dread. And if he comes around, tell him I'm dead. Tell him I'm dead. Thank you very much. Most of the record is Western swing. There's a few kind of folkier tunes on it, and this one was a poem, a love poem that I wrote. A very sincere love poem from the bottom of my heart. And it's a title track of the record. It's called Obsessed with the West. I'm obsessed with the West, that ruleless old gal, always coming or going, she can't be corralled. Her buzzing cicadas, her chalk white rocks, her high dancing grasses, her black buzzard flocks. I'm obsessed with the West, her tough, leaning trees, her hawks on her high lines, her core reaching freeze, her murderous hailstorms, her squalls and cyclones, her blooming pink cactus, her weather bleached bones. Oh, it's her I can't keep from that old love affair. Though she pelts me with sleet and ties knots in my hair, I'm obsessed with the West, that rugged old broad, that unbroke wild pony, that opus of God. Thank you. Appreciate y'all. I don't even know what time it is in this time zone. I got in this morning, but I think we have time for a few more, 3, 2, 3, something like that. I don't know. My clocks don't work here across the Atlantic for me, so we'll do as many as we can fit in. I'm just really glad to be here. I haven't been over since before COVID. I toured the UK a lot with the great Noel McKay. And I really, really missed it. I got in my rental car today, and I was worried about it because it had been a minute. But it's like riding a bike. It's exactly like riding a bike. Driving a car here on the left, it's a lot like riding a bike. The roundabouts. Yeah, they're just like riding a bike. Or a unicycle or maybe something. A tandem bike with no one on the back. But, no, it came right back to me, no problem, knock on wood. So. Anyway, I'll do one now that I wrote with a dear friend of mine named Melissa Carper. I know she's loved. Anyway, we wrote this. It's kind of a true story. It's a little teenage love song. It's called Billy and Bo. Dakota farmland, tabletop flats, where Billy and I grew up at. Billy was my friend since we were 10, so I guess I never thought about it much back then. That we both looked up to this farm boy, Bo, tall and strong from shoveling snow and baling hay. His big blue eyes were clear and bright as the prairie sky. The heart wants to go where the heart wants to go, and you can't undo it. Billy never told me so, but I just knew it. Billy loved Bo. Well, Bo won best goat at the 4-H fair, and I went to state for my pie with pears. For raising a pig, Billy won something too. We all got to go on a trip to the zoo. And Bo and Billy, they laughed and laughed the whole way there and the whole way back. Billy put his arm around his bud and said, Bo, I sure had fun. The heart wants to go where the heart wants to go, and you can't undo it. Billy never told me so, but I just knew it. Billy loved stick-up, he never came back. Had a full scholarship in Chicago, made a lot of himself since 20 years ago. And we haven't seen hide nor hair of both. Last we heard, he's still with the rodeo. He never got married, heard through the grapevine, but he broke a lot of hearts, including Billy's and mine. The heart wants to go where the heart wants to go, and you can't undo it. Billy never told me so, but I just knew it. The heart wants to go where the heart wants to go, and you can't undo it. Billy never told me so, but I just knew it. Billy loved both. Thank you very much. Could play you a couple of new ones, if that's all right. Actually, I don't care if it's all right. I have a new album coming out in June, produced by my friend Chris Scruggs. It's a country record. Country music. That's right. It's my favorite kind of music. And I wrote this with John Scott Sherrill. It's going to be the title track of the record. It's for all you honky tonkers. I've been watching all my friends settling down. They no longer want to go out on the town. Well, I could have that kind of life, I bet, but I ain't through honky-tonking yet. Maybe I'll find one of those old familiar places where they pour the coldest beer that you can get. I'll look around and see my new friends' smiling faces. No, I ain't through honky-tonking yet. Sometimes I feel I've got nowhere to go, 'cause they don't make them like the ones I used to know. They've traded in the jukebox for a TV set, but I ain't through honky-tonking yet. Maybe I'll find one of those old familiar places where they pour the coldest beer that you can get. I look around and see my new friends' smiling faces. No, I ain't through honky-tonking yet. No, I ain't through honky-tonking yet. Thank you so much. All right.
Do you have records here
Oh,
tonight?
well, it's so funny, Jen. You would ask Jen, my friend from New York, well, in a roundabout sort of way. She just materialized out of thin air and asked if I wanted her to stand there with my albums, which are very heavy. And I have a compact disc over there as well. Limited selection, but thank you, Jen. You're awesome. Yeah, she appeared. She knew I was in a jet lag haze. Appeared. And look at this professional looking display we have going. That is just downright corporate. I'll leave you with one more. I'm going to do a song I wrote with Noel McKay. This song is about my dog. He's a, I know, right? I know you're afraid because I said it was a country song. You're afraid the dog's going to die. He's not. Look, well, eventually. The thing is, there aren't that many country songs about dead dogs. Just think about that. I know, Old Shep, right? I can name a couple, but really it's an exaggerated stereotype. My dog is alive and well. He's a little hound dog mutt mixed with a husky, so he looks like a black and tan hound dog, but he's got a blue eye and a brown eye. He's a highly evolved spiritual being. And so this one's for little Bjorn, and I appreciate y'all so much. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Michaela, for doing such an awesome job. And there's great music all week, so I got no complaints. I'm so happy to be here. This is called Little Blue-Eyed Dog. Stickers in your hair out here on the highway. You used to be somebody's bug, but no one came to pick you up. Life was long and I was rough, but now you're going my way. Hey, little blue-eyed doggy. Hey, little blue-eyed dog. Hey, little blue-eyed dog. I think that you are quite a catch. You should be somewhere playing fetch and running in the clover. I don't know how you got so stuck, but you just ran out of rotten luck. You were headed for some semi-truck about to run you over. That's a lorry, right? Hey, little blue-eyed doggy. Hey, little blue-eyed dog. I know. Before I found you just a stray, I had a hound who went away. The hound dog heaven one sad day. My heart has since been broken. Wait, there is a dead dog in this song. But now he deals with every mile. Thinking about you makes me smile. I tell you it is.